Thank you all for being here this evening. We will be working on scapular muscles, so muscles around the shoulder blade. They are important for stabilizing the shoulders, they're important for your posture, they're important for preventing rotator cuff injury and problems, and for maintaining full range of motion at the shoulders. And for rowers, they are definitely important for all of that injury prevention reasons, but also for strength and efficiency in the forward reach in the catch position, and certainly for all of the pulling back, that little rowing motion during the drive phase of the stroke. So I will say we will be working through full range of motion of the shoulder. If you have some limitations of range of motion, or if you have pain at any ranges of motion in your shoulder, you might just modify or do similar types of movements at a lower elevation, so as opposed to up here, down at 90 degrees or even down lower. So listen for some options with that. And as far as props go, 2 yoga blocks, or have 2 blankets, 2 towels that can be rolled up to about the same size. I have the strap mostly for quad stretch options, and I'm going to use the blanket mostly for padding my knees today. So, and as I said, sort of about the shoulders, but applying to the whole body. If anything is painful or uncomfortable, those are reasons to change, modify, adapt, substitute during the practice, or even come into a resting position. Nothing should be painful or uncomfortable. And we are starting on our backs in whatever position of rest is comfortable. Knees can be bent or straight, maybe even have a prop underneath your legs. Arms where it's comfortable could be out to the sides, or hands resting on your torso, even hands behind the head. Begin to bring your focus to your breath. Feeling the belly and the chest expand as you breathe in, making space for the air. Contract, a passive, restful contraction as you breathe out, emptying the air from your lungs. Breathing through the mouth. Begin to slow the breath down. This does not mean big, deep breaths, but we just lengthen them out, smoothing out the breath. Begin to feel this rhythm of the breathing. And we'll take the next few breaths to set an intention for your practice. So perhaps you bring to mind the reason you've shown up today, the reason you've carved out this hour of time for your practice. Is it to feel better? Is it to open up stuck or tight areas of your body? Is it to release tension? Is it to slow down? Is it to be present? And if none of this is speaking to you, or another thought for specifically for yourself doesn't come to mind, perhaps you dedicate your practice to someone else, someone who might need your strength, your resilience, your compassion. Bring this person to the front of your mind, or bring this thought to the front of your mind, and breathe with intention. So we are going to begin to move uh, here at the arms. We're staying on our backs. Notice that I'm making some space here for me to bring my arms out to the side. So we're going to be making a sort of a snow angel type of movement with the arms. So we'll start with the arms down by the sides. Reach them up towards the ceiling and then overhead. So you're in this sort of Superman about to dive position. This is a little different than a snow angel. Palms face up towards the ceiling. Bend the elbows and slide the forearms down on the ground. And then straighten the elbows to bring your hands by your hips. So we just kind of made a big snow angel half circle on either side. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling and then overhead. Palms face up. We bend the elbows. Exhale, pull them down to your side. And do that again. So we inhale, reach up and overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, sliding the elbows, the forearms on the floor if you can. Arms by the sides. Do a couple more. This might be a similar type of exercise that you have done at the wall, standing up. It's a little bit more challenging when the legs are straight and also having to work against gravity instead of gravity working with you. Last one. Bring the arms down by the sides. And then coming into this breastbone lift or robot arm breastbone lift. So the elbows are in by your sides and they're bent at 90 degrees. Hands point up towards the ceiling. Press the shoulders, the elbows into the floor, lifting the breastbone towards the ceiling and then relaxing it. We're doing a few more here. So breath is inhale, shoulders pressing into the floor, breastbone lifts, exhale, relax. And you're keeping your head and your hips on the floor. And it's that upper back, maybe the mid and lower back lift a little bit here away from the surface. And instead of pushing with all your might, so you're not like 100% effort, try more like 50, 60% effort. So it's really just about engaging those muscles between the shoulder blades, releasing them, engaging, releasing. So you can feel them, you can find them, you can feel the shoulder blades move towards each other, you can feel the chest open and the shoulders go back. One more. We're working middle trapezius and the rhomboids here, these scapular retractor muscles. Relaxing on that next one. And then just gently rock the knees side to side. And it might feel good to the spine to pull the knees in, gently rocking there, or even circling the hips and knees. Rolling onto your side, either one, because we'll switch and do the other one next. Coming into a fetal pose position, hips and knees bent. Now, use something here to support your head so you're not straining through the neck. I like the dynamic nature of having my arm underneath there. And if that doesn't feel good to you, you can always slide a pillow or folded blanket underneath. You're coming into this upper body twist. And normally we sweep the hand just straight up and over, but we're going to be moving the hand over our head as if we were drawing an umbrella over our head. So the top arm starts straight out from the shoulder, and I'm sweeping the arm over my head, like that umbrella over it, bringing it over to the other side, and then I turn my head to see that hand or in that direction. And then I reverse it. I redraw that umbrella over my head and bring the arm forward again. We'll do a few more. So we inhale, sweep the arm overhead and then behind you. Turn to see it. Exhale, sweep the arm overhead, rolling everything into that sideline position. A few more. Now, I've got enough mobility in my shoulder that I can keep my fingers on the floor. So I'm literally tracing that rainbow or that umbrella over my head here. If you're tight, that hand might come away from the floor. If you have some limitation of shoulder movement, bring that arm forward again, and then we'll roll over to do this on the other side. Support the head so you're not straining or lifting the head here. Top arm comes straight forward from the shoulder. We inhale, draw the umbrella overhead, bring the arm behind, turn to look towards that moving hand. Exhale, draw that umbrella in the reverse direction. We'll do a few more. So that lower body relatively still in that fetal position so that this movement is coming from the mid and upper back and that shoulder blade moving a lot here. You may not be aware of it, but it's doing a lot of different, kind of all the movements the shoulder blade can actually do here. We'll bring that arm forward and then making your way onto hands and knees. We'll be on our hands and knees for the next several poses, so you might choose to pad the knees here with a blanket. We're starting in a child's or puppy pose position. So child's is hips over heels, forehead resting. Puppy, hips over knees, forehead resting. Either one is fine. Child's pose can be a lot of compression through the knees, the hips, the spine, the discs. So especially if you have osteoporosis, herniated disc, puppy pose is a safer pose so you don't injure either the compression fracture of the spine or disc herniation. I'm going to ask you to reach your arms forward here, straight forward in either pose. Come up on your fingertips. You're kind of clawing into the floor. And then keep that claw, but slide the hands back, keeping the elbows straight. So you feel your shoulder blades slide down the back. And then walk your fingers forward here. So you get stretched through the sides of the shoulders. Keep that claw in the hands and slide the hands back, keeping the elbows straight. I'm going to turn so you might be able to see me from the front if you're not understanding this one here. So I walk those fingers forward, clawing into the floor, and then sliding my shoulder blades down my back, sliding the hands towards me without bending the elbows. I'm going to do that a few more times. So we're doing a couple of different things here as we walk our hands forward, strengthening serratus muscles, these muscles that pull, that allow you to reach forward a little bit beyond the length of your shoulders. And then as we slide the hands back, we're engaging the lower trapezius muscles that are important stabilizers and also movers of the arms and shoulders. All right, leave the arms forward, but palms can come flat. Doing a little sequence of moves from here where we lift the hips and shift forward into a knee down plank. On your exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Once you're down, pull the shoulder blades towards the spine and the back waist to lift the head and chest. And then press through the hands, pull the low belly in, bring the hips back to find that child's or puppy pose again. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, lift up and shift forward. Exhale, lower. Now, really listen, really feel those shoulder blade movements here. So pull the shoulder blades towards the spine. They go straight back. And then slide the shoulder blades towards the back waist. So it's the strength of the shoulder blade muscles peeling the head and chest up off the floor, not the push of the hands. Press up, low belly in, hips back. Find that child's or puppy. One more. Inhale, lift up, shift forward. Exhale, lower. Again, be real thoughtful here. Shoulder blades towards the spine. Pull them towards the back waist to peel the head and chest up for low cobra. The gaze is down and forward. So not just down, not just forward, looking forward a few inches. Push up, pull the low belly in. Find that child's or puppy pose. Take a breath here. Arms could stay forward or let those elbows bend. Actually taking a few breaths here. Moving up to hands and knees. Child or puppy might be a resting position. Remember, you could come to that at any time, any other resting position as well. We are in a position where the knees under the hips, wrists under shoulders, but you could be on loose fist or on your forearms if you want to take that pressure off of your wrists. It's a little opening or side bending here. So I'm going to have you kind of peek around your left shoulder. So you're either looking towards the left hand or even looking back towards that left foot. And then shift the hips back, really that right hip towards the right heel. And then shift it forward again. Now look to the outside of that right arm and then shift your hips back, left hip towards the left heel, and then come forward. So look around one shoulder, shift your hips back. You might feel that stretch through the side body. Shift it forward again. Look around the other shoulder, shift your hips back. Come forward. I'm feeling this in my side low back and my side of my waist, a little bit in my outer hip. It might just depend on where you feel tight or tense, or maybe it's just movement. Maybe it's not stretch for you here. Bringing this back into that hands and knees position again. This time we're tucking our toes under and we're starting to open up through the feet, toes, ankle joints. If there's some stiffness, tightness, pain here, limit your range of motion. Shifting the hips towards the heels. So starting to open up through toes, soles of feet, shift it forward again. I'm going to do that a few times. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. This is even a good one here if you wanted to come up on the fingertips as tented fingers as you shift forward and back to start to strengthen some of these intrinsic muscles of the hands, ones that help with grip, and take work off the wrist and even the shoulders, really. One more. You could keep going with this or flatten the hands again. And next time you shift back, lift the knees, heels towards the floor for a brief child's pose. I'm sorry, it'd be brief down dog, brief down dog. Lower the knees, shift forward. So I'm going to do that shift back, optional add-in of the down dog a few times. Next time I come into down dog, I'm going to pause and stay here. Perhaps repositioning feet or hip distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart. And just to set it up here, let the elbows bend out towards the sides and then pull the elbows towards the floor. Straighten the elbows so you relax through the neck a little bit more. Maybe take a moment here to pedal the feet or rise up on the toes, release the heels. Shake the head. Take another couple breaths here or lower the knees if down dog is a challenging pose for you. Looking forward, we're stepping this left foot between the hands. And if it doesn't get there on the first try, lower that right knee. Left hand helping this foot come forward so the ankle is underneath the knee. Lift the torso here into this upright position. So the back knee is down and we're trying to get really tall here through the torso. Tailbone towards the earth, top of the head here towards the sky, making more space between the vertebrae. And we're bringing our right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand comes forward as if you're getting ready for a left-handed handshake. Now, as we twist, keep your hips square to the front. Pull the left elbow back, look towards the left. And then bring that hand forward, look towards the front. Inhale, elbow back, look to the left. Exhale, bring it forward. A couple more here. Feel as you pull that elbow back, that shoulder blade moving towards the spine. It's called retraction. All right, we're going to pause here with that elbow back, the gaze to the left. You could keep it here, especially if you have left shoulder issues, or reach that left arm back. The thumb is up, palm is out. Now I've got a little tightness tension here, so I can't quite get my arm parallel to the mat. So I'm just reaching towards that back left corner, neck long, breathe. Releasing both hands down to the floor here and stepping this back into a plank. Keep the knees up or lower them and lower all the way down to the ground. Let's find that low cobra again. Shoulder blades towards the spine, then towards the back waist to peel the head and chest off the floor. You could keep it here, or maybe pressing higher feels good, but keep those shoulder blades sliding down the back. Tuck your toes. You could go through hands and knees or directly to down dog, low belly, pulling the hips up and back. Resetting here through the shoulders. Let the elbows bend out to the side just a little bit. And then we're rolling those inner elbows forward, pointy parts of the elbows towards the floor, and then straighten the elbows. Neck long. Look forward. This time it's right foot between the hands, helping it get there. Lower the back knee. Lift the torso. Find your balance here. Sometimes having a hand on the wall or a steady piece of furniture can help. Find that length in the spine. The more space we have between the vertebrae, the more room we have to twist. Tailbone down, top of the head is reaching up. Left hand to the outside of that right thigh, right hand forward like handshake position. Spine stays long. We inhale, pull the right elbow back, look towards the right. Exhale, bring it to the front again. 3 more here. See if you can feel that shoulder blade moving on the back ribs. So as you pull that elbow back, it retracts, it pulls towards the spine. Pause with that elbow back, neck long, stay here, or straighten the elbow, reach the hand back, palm out, thumb up. Breathe. Left hand can stay down. I can't remember if I did. No, we keep that left hand on the thigh. All right, release this. Both hands coming down to the floor around that front foot. Lift your back knee and step it forward, back foot forward for a forward fold. Listen for options here. It could be that ragdoll version, knees bent, upper body draped over lower body. But if you are being cautious because you have or have had a herniated disc, you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, and you don't want to injure yourself, here's your option: feet wide, butt back, forearms on your thighs. Spine is long. Maybe take a few swaying motions. You're in that ragdoll, maybe you'll hold elbows or you shake the head. We're going to do a few kind of lifts or lengthening. It's a little more dramatic from that ragdoll, but it works from both positions of the forward fold. If you're in the ragdoll, bring your hands to the tops of your shins. If you're in that forearm on the thighs position, you're going to stay here. Either one, press your arms into your legs and reach the top of the head forward. So spine ends up parallel to the floor, and you're lengthening the top of the head out away from the spine. And then on your exhale, relax. So if you're in that ragdoll, fold back down. So it's called a half lift. On your inhale, press your arms into the legs and lengthen the top of the head forward, tailbone back. Exhale, relax again. Do that a couple more times, and as you lengthen, see if you can feel those shoulder blades slide down your back so the neck gets long. One more. Bend the knees, strong legs. Inhale, rise up to stand. If it feels good, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to prayer at your heart. Let this go. Shake it out, roll the shoulders. I'm going to move that blanket out of the way as we move into some of the standing poses and movements. So we're standing here with our feet shoulder, hip distance apart or shoulder distance, whatever feels comfortable to you. And we're moving our shoulder blades here again. So you're already seeing the theme. We're shrugging one shoulder up towards the ear and then roll it back and down. Do that again with the other side. Shrug the shoulder up towards the ear and then roll it back and down. So we inhale, shrug up, exhale, roll it back and down. A couple more here. And you might get a sort of natural rotation, like that chest, the gaze rotating towards the side of that shoulder blade movement. And this is not about how strong you are, how much force you're using to engage this, but about just getting movement, engaging sort of almost all the muscles that connect to the shoulder blade here. All right, relax with that. Just shake your arms out. You could keep it there with that backward shoulder roll, that shoulder blade movement, or you could turn this into sort of a back stroking movement, like a swimming stroke. So that would be to sweep this one arm forward and up. Once you're up, rotate the arm so the thumb is forward and the little finger is back. We're going to bring the arm back a little bit, but instead of keeping it straight, bend that elbow, push the palm down towards the floor. Do the other side. Inhale, sweep it up, little finger back. Exhale, bend the elbow, push the palm to the floor. Inhale, sweep up, little finger back. Exhale, palm down to the floor. And here, again, you might get that little bit of rotation, or maybe it's a little bit bigger in the upper body, but your hips are square to the front. Remember, you could just do that shoulder roll if this movement doesn't feel good. Couple more. Nice. Let it go. Shake it out. Reset. Come on up to the front of the mat if you are not there already. And we're starting in a warrior two. So step your left foot back, pivot the heel down so your hips are angled out towards the left. My left toes point towards the left, the right toes point towards the front of the mat. Front knee bent, tailbone down, the top of the head is reaching up. So that's the part that's resembling the warrior two. The upper body is going to be a little different here. So I'm reaching both arms straight out from the shoulders out towards the left. From here, we're pulling both elbows back and then rotating the palms into the stick 'em up or cactus position. We'll do that a few times. So reaching those arms forward here or towards that left side. Inhale, pull the elbows back, open up into the cactus. Exhale, stretch forward here towards the left. Do that 2 more times. So we're using those retractor muscles, and rotating to the cactus gets the rotator cuff working. So stop in that cactus position here, keeping that front knee bent if you can. We're gonna do adding a little core work. So I'm bending towards my front leg, right elbow towards right thigh, strong legs. Inhale, rise up. Inhale, bend right elbow towards right thigh, bend through the side waist. Exhale, pull it up. A couple more here. So we're using those obliques on either side of the waist to lower and to lift. All right, coming on up on the next one, straighten the front leg. You could swing those arms out here. Shake them out, do the backward shoulder rolls. Rebend that front knee again for a side angle. Could be hand on the thigh or forearm on the thigh. Leverage of the arm against the leg to open that chest a little bit more. Now you could always keep that left hand on the back hip, or this extended side angle where we reach this arm up and over. So my hand is pointing towards the front of the mat. Now we have the palm facing down towards the earth and the thumb pointing back on purpose. So see if you can get in that position and kind of slide that shoulder blade down the back a little bit. So as opposed to the shoulder being shrugged up towards the ear, sliding that shoulder blade down and making space between the ear, that area between neck and shoulder. And then strong legs, we're rising back up to stand, straighten the front knee, couple of backward shoulder rolls. We're getting ready to come into triangle pose. Some people, that longer stance of the warrior two or the side angle doesn't feel good. So you could always shorten the stance here for your triangle pose. Find that length in the spine, the tailbone down, top of the head up. Now arms reach forward and back here. Shift the ribs over the front leg. Bring that front hand down to the thigh or the shin. The top arm could come up here or even a hand on the hip if that feels better. A little bit more core strength, back of the hand pressing into the inner thigh, inner knee here. So you could stay, especially if you struggle with the balance, stay right here. Or this top arm movement. I'm gonna bend the elbow and reach the hand down towards the floor, gaze towards that front foot, and then pull the elbow up, opening into the triangle. So I'm kind of collapsing this movement. Elbow bends, hand towards the floor. Inhale, pull the elbow up, hand up. And my gaze is following this moving arm. So next time my hand comes back up, I'm going to pause, shoulders away from the ears, neck long. So it's called triangle pose. If you think of like these 3 points, the 2 feet, the one hand at the top, being a triangle. Strong legs, rise back up, bend the front knee, step the back foot to the front foot, shake out those legs, roll the shoulders. We're going to do this on the other side. I typically turn around so you can see my front, but I'm going to stay with my back to you so you can kind of see what's happening at my shoulder blades here. So take that big step back with the right foot, pivot the right heel down for this warrior two. So front toes, left toes point towards the front, right toes point towards the right, that front knee bent, tailbone down, the top of the head is reaching up here, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. We're reaching these arms out here towards the right, so straight out, sort of zombie style. Then we pull the elbows back, those shoulder blades move towards the spine, rotate palms to face out towards the right, that cactus, and then hands down, reach up forward. Let's do 3 more. Pull back, open up on the inhale, exhale, reach the arms forward. 2 more. So when we come into that cactus, we're using 2 of your 4 rotator cuff muscles here that are on the back of the shoulder blade. Pause in the cactus, neck long again. You could stay here, add this oblique work. We inhale, lean towards that front leg, and then exhale, pull it to upright. Inhale, left elbow towards left thigh. Exhale, rise up. Couple more here. If you really plant down through your feet, it actually makes this a little bit, I don't know, it's easier. You just feel stronger there through the core. All right, pausing here, straighten the front leg, swing those arms out. Rebend that front knee again, either front hand on the thigh, forearm on the thigh. Leverage of this arm against the leg to open that chest a little bit more. You could keep the top arm out of it, hand here on the hip, or this right arm up. You could stay here, especially if you struggle. I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong one. This one is our extended side angle. We're reaching this arm forward towards the front of the mat, palm faces down, the thumb points back. So if you really like force it and reach, that shoulder comes towards the ear. But if you keep that palm down, see if you can slide that shoulder blade down the back a little bit and create some space between the ear and shoulders. I'm going to demonstrate that again. So it could be a big old shrug, but we don't want to do that. We want to engage this lower traps by sliding that shoulder blade down. Another breath. Strong legs, rise up. You could straighten that front leg. Might feel good to do those backward shoulder rolls. As we get ready to come into triangle pose, maybe you shorten your stance or keep it where you have it. Arms reaching forward and back, shoulders relaxed. Shift the ribs of the front leg. Options here at the hand on the leg or back of the hand on the leg. Top arm up. Option for the top arm movement. So I bend that elbow and then reach the hand towards the floor. Gaze towards the front foot and then pull the elbow up, open up, gaze towards the top hand. I'm going to do 3 more. So today is September 16th, 2025. 9/16/2025, or 9/16/25. I'm going to pause here in that triangle position. which each day happens to be a square of a number. 9 is square of 3, 16 is square of 4, 25 is square of 5. 3, 4, 5 is part of the Pythagorean theorem of the right triangle. One side 3, one side 4, one side 5. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. Them together equal 9 plus 16 equals 25. All right, strong legs, rise up, bend that front knee, step it forward. Just had to put that little bit of trivia there in our triangle pose. Shake out the legs, roll the shoulders. So we're gonna work on our balance, and you might choose to step off your mat for a less squishy surface. You might have a hand at the wall or a steady piece of furniture here. As we come into a version of tree pose, so bring one foot forward, spread those toes, place them down in that spread out position, shift your weight onto it. Start in the kickstand version. So the other foot, toes are down, heel is above the ankle. Focus the gaze on a non-moving spot. Find that length in the spine, tailbone down, top of the head up. Hands could be at prayer or on your hips. You could stay with the toes down, or you could pull that foot up somewhere on the inner leg. You might reach down and pull it up to the inner thigh, but it's not necessary. Wherever you are with the foot, press the foot and leg in towards each other. You could stay here or come into that cactus arm position. Relax the shoulders. So see if you can not force the shoulder blades down, but just let them slide down your back. And then let that go, shake it out, roll the shoulders, other side, foot forward, spread those toes, shift your weight onto it. Come into the kickstand first just to set it up, toes down, heel above the ankle. Focus the gaze on a non-moving spot. Find that length in the spine, tailbone down, top of the head up. You could stay with the toes down or bring that foot somewhere up on the leg or use the hand and pull it up higher. Go where you're challenged but still successful, meaning you're not falling over right away. Push the foot and leg in towards each other. Hands could be a prayer on your hips. You might stay there, or that cactus arm. A little squeeze of the shoulder blades, and then see if they can slide down your back. Are you breathing? All right, let it go. Shake it out, roll the shoulders. We are coming down to the floor for a seated twist. I'm going to use my blanket here to elevate my hips a little bit. If you struggle to sit on the floor, even with hip elevation and keeping that spine long, then you might do a recline twist instead of a seated twist, or some other variation of a twist or a different pose for you. So I'm bending one knee, bringing that foot to the outside of the other thigh. I'm hugging this knee in with the opposite arm, the crook of the elbow coming in to pull the knee in relatively close. The other hand comes behind, hand on the floor. Its job is to get my spine long. And then I'm hugging that knee in and gently twisting towards the bent knee side. And with the arm that's behind you, see if you can pull that shoulder blade towards the spine. It might give you more twist, but really it's more just about opening through the chest and the front of the shoulder. Breathing here, even if the belly is compressed by the thigh. Unwind, both legs forward. Maybe shake out your legs. Sometimes I use my hands just to jiggle my quads and my hip flexors here, get them to relax. Okay, other side, bend the knee, foot crossing over, hug it in with the opposite arm. That knee's coming in the crook of the elbow. Other hand behind you, maybe even up on those tented fingers. Get really long and tall through the spine. Gently hug the knee in, and your chest, your shoulders, your gaze are towards the bent leg side. And then see if you can pull that shoulder blade of the back arm towards the spine. Take a few breaths here. Unwind here, legs forward, shake them out. And then we're coming onto our bellies, but we are not doing belly down back bends. We are, again, doing engagement here of these muscles around the shoulder blades. If it's possible, I'd like you to lie face down without turning your head. So you might use your blanket here underneath the forehead so that your face isn't smashed into the floor, your nose isn't smashed into the floor here. So we're bringing our arms out to the sides again in that cactus position. So elbows are bent, palms face down. The only thing that's lifting here are our arms. So we're not lifting the head, the chest, legs don't come up. We're keeping the elbows bent and raising the backs of the forearms and the elbows and the upper arms towards the ceiling, and then lowering down. So we inhale, lift, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other, exhale, lower. Do a few more here and see if you notice the shoulder blades rising up towards your ears. If so, try to keep them from rising up, and it's just shoulder blade movement straight towards the spine. So again, working that area between the shoulder blades, rhomboids, middle traps, and those two of those four rotator cuff muscles that are on the back of the shoulder blades. Let the arms come down and rest. That's surprisingly tiring. You might turn your head here, and even though we didn't use the low back, you might have been kind of bracing with the low back buttocks. You can jiggle, wiggle hips a little bit here side to side. So depending on how your shoulders are, you might keep it with that one, that cactus arm or the W position. I'm going to do something similar, but with my arms in a V shape, or maybe Y if you're thinking about your body. It's like the letter Y. So I have that blanket under my forehead. This time my arms are coming forward and out to the side. So my arms are like a 45-ish degree angle here from my torso, from the head. And this time I'm lifting both arms up, thumbs up, and then lowering back down. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower. And this one, often those upper traps, the muscles between neck and shoulders want to take over. So if you find that happening, try to relax there, or maybe don't lift quite as high. Sometimes even just the tiniest little bit of lift gets these are your lower trapezius muscles working here, along with those same two rotator cuff muscles. One more. Very important muscles for the health and the mechanics of your shoulders. Lowering down, resting. Maybe your arms come forward to rest the head. You could bend the knees and rock the legs side to side. Lower those feet down. Now we've been working those muscles around the shoulder blades quite a bit today. We're going to give them a rest. This is a relaxation pose, a restorative pose for them. I'm going to use my two yoga blocks here, but this could also be two rolled up, folded up blankets or towels. Staying on my belly, sliding those props under the front of the shoulders, letting the head rest here. Maybe turn your head or gazes straight down. I've snuggled these in pretty close to my ribs. Their job is to push my shoulder blades towards the spine without the strength of those muscles. Arms could be at your sides or out to the sides like the cactus, or down by your sides. So you could experiment and see what feels the most relaxing, the most restful. So for me, because I have a lot of movement here, I feel like I could relax even more if I'm up on the taller side of my blocks. But if you are tight in the chest or front of the shoulders, that might be too much. I'm going to bring that blanket back to put under my forehead again so I can keep my neck in neutral. And then once you're here, the job is done.
the work is the setup. The restorative part is you just being here and letting gravity and the props do the work. And what's happening is the props are pushing the shoulders back. The shoulder blades are moving towards the spine. We've done that many times, but with the strength of those middle traps and rhomboid muscles. Now, the shoulder blades are being propped there. And those muscles we've been working get to slacken and they get to rest. When muscles are slackened, they mechanically cannot contract. So there's no tension on them. There's no contractile tension, and there's no tension from them being stretched. So what I'm feeling here is a release. Feels particularly good. I can feel some vague warmth or heat happening here, which means there's blood flowing into that area. Coming into that lengthened breath, slowing the breath down again. Coming back to your intention for the practice, bringing it to the front of your mind. You could stay here longer. This might feel particularly good. This is one I often do at the end of my day when my upper back is tired or tight or achy or even kind of burny sensation. Rolling onto your back. One more here, one more strength, and we get to kind of stretch and release a little bit more. This is a bridge pose, and if you're like, Laura, I'm really ready for something more restorative, you can always slide a block or other prop under the hips and rest into that position. If you'd like the active part pose of bridge, bend the knees, line the heels up with the sitting bones, arms on your sides, thumbs point up towards the ceiling, and then lift your hips and back. Once you're up, you're pulling those shoulder blades in closer to the spine. So you might have to rock towards one side and tuck that other shoulder blade in. Rock towards the other side and tuck that shoulder blade in. Now we're kind of tucking them in so they stay. Then press into the pinky, the little finger sides of your hands, and see if you can get a little more lift here through the spine. Gently press the back of the head into the floor so your chin comes away from your chest a little bit. It's a subtle move. One more inhale. Exhale, pull those shoulder blades out from underneath and come down into your back. Maybe you rock those knees side to side, a little windshield wiper movement. Sometimes it feels good to come in this sort of a constructive rest position, knock-kneed, feet wide, knees resting against each other. So I'm going to do one more bridge. I'm changing the arm position here. So if you remember that breastbone lift, the robot arms, that's what we'll add in here. So lower body's the same, knees bent, heels lined up with sitting bones, elbows bent at 90 degrees. They're in by your sides, fingers point towards the ceiling. Press through the feet and the arms and lift the hips and back. Now once you're up, we're going to shift towards one side, pull one elbow in closer to center, shift towards the other side, pull that elbow in closer to center. Now push into the shoulders and elbows and get that lift. And you might get even more lift, especially in that upper back. Gently press the back of the head into the floor to take that compression out of the neck. You can probably even hear the difference. Here's me that without the back of the head pressing into the floor, hearing my voice here, and then back of the head pressing into the floor. Maybe you can hear that difference in my voice because I'm not compressing through my vocal cords. Right elbows out from underneath, coming down onto the back. A few windshield wiper motions here. And then pulling the knees in towards you, gently rocking. Roll towards your side, coming into a quad stretch here for the top leg, support the head, top foot comes back. You find that foot with the top hand, or this might be the place for that strap on the ankle, pulling it towards you here. Kneecap lengthening towards the foot of the mat. Take a few breaths. Releasing this foot. Roll into your other side. Stretching the top leg to reach that foot back, top hand finding it, or the strap here. Kneecap lengthening towards the foot of your mat. Take a few breaths. Releasing the foot, rolling onto your back again. Knees bent. Cross one thigh over the other, pull the legs in towards you, holding shins or backs of thighs here, or the strap at the back of the thighs. You may be feeling stretch in the buttocks, outer hip of the top leg, or just a sense of openness there. And remember, some people prefer that ankle over knee stretch to this one, so you might be switching to that one. Relax the neck, the shoulders, the jaw muscles. Switch legs. Relax the neck, shoulders, jaw again. Untangling the legs here. Decide if there's something you'd like to do before Shavasana, before relaxation. It could be a twist, hip flexor stretch, different hip stretch and inversion that you'd like to add into your practice here. And then thinking about how you'd like to set up for Shavasana. If you'd like more release to the upper back, you could come back into that belly down, perhaps into the front of the shoulders position, resting there. Another position that's very similar is face up, but then you have that rolled blanket at the spine. So I'm going to come into that one just to demonstrate that long rolled blanket. I'm going to place it underneath my tailbone, spine, and head. This could also be a foam roller if you want sort of a more dramatic roll and opening. This would be the arms out, and I'm just letting the shoulder blades sort of just wrap around that roll. So again, those muscles between the shoulder blades get to slacken and relax. And if you're in a palm up position, those two of the four rotator cuff muscles that we've also worked also get to relax here. But you may have your favorite position for relaxation that has nothing to do with these props or this upper back, and feel free to come into that pose, which could just be lying flat on your mat. Perhaps you close your eyes or
Keep them open with a gentle gaze. Use the breath here to help you relax a little bit more. Take an inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh out the breath. You could do that again. Let your breath go. Allow the body to rest. Perhaps feeling the effects of gravity. Letting your limbs, your head, your spine feel heavy and weighted to the earth. Rest for the next few minutes. Remember, you could stay here longer, resting more. If you're ready to move on with your day, start to deepen the breath. Maybe add some gentle movements, turning the head, wiggling the toes and fingers, movement at the wrists, the ankles. Perhaps a full body stretch with legs out, arms overhead. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. From the back, you'll bend the knees and roll to your side. Pause for a moment in that fetal pose. Perhaps taking this opportunity as you take a few more breaths to appreciate your body, your breath, your health, your yoga practice. Being gentle, press up to a seated position. Thank you all for being here, sharing your practice, your energy. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you.